Before we begin today's tale, let me ask you, have you ever felt fate turn its hand against you, at the peak of your happiness? Have you ever believed that in the depths of despair, there might lie a power to change everything? If you have ever felt wronged, trapped, or wondered whether the darkness would ever end, then this story was written for you. It is not a relic of the past, but a mirror reflecting the sudden upheavals, the long waits, and the deep human yearning for justice and redemption we all may face. Part 1. The Stolen Happiness. In February 1815, the merchant ship Pharaon arrives in Marseille. Aboard is a young first mate named Edmond Dance, 19 years old, with a bright future. He has 3 reasons to be happy. First, he is about to be named the new captain. Second, he will soon marry the beautiful Catalan girl Mercedes. Third, his elderly father awaits him on shore. Yet shadows already loom. Aboard the ship, the envious accountant Danglars covets the captain's position. Fernand Mondego, a fisherman deeply in love with Mercedes, burns with hatred for his rival. And a weak, greedy neighbor named Caterus completes the trio. At Dance's engagement feast, they conspire to write a denunciation letter, accusing him of being a messenger for Napoleon Bonaparte. With Napoleon recently returned from exile and the Bourbon monarchy on edge, the letter strikes like a poisoned arrow. Soldiers storm the celebration, and Edmond is arrested. His life is cut in half on what should have been his happiest day. Part 2. The Crucible of the Château d'If. Dance is thrown into the Château d'If, a stone tomb rising from the sea off Marseille. 4 years, he screams in despair, refuses food, and prays for death. "Why me?" he cries, but the walls give only silence. The turning point comes when he hears tapping from the next cell. It is Abbé Faria, an Italian scholar imprisoned for years. They meet through a misfired tunnel, and become father and son in captivity. Faria becomes Dance Promlois, bringing not only hope of escape but the fire of knowledge. He teaches him mathematics, physics, history, philosophy, and languages, transforming the brave sailor into a learned, refined, and keen-minded gentleman. Most importantly, with logical precision, Faria unravels the conspiracy behind Dance's imprisonment, naming Danglars, Fernand, and Villefort, the prosecutor who, to protect his own interests, condemned Dance without trial. As the truth emerges, Dance's sorrow hardens into cold hatred. He vows revenge. On his deathbed, Faria entrusts him with a final secret. On the island of Monte Cristo near Elba lies the lost treasure of the Spada family, wealth beyond imagination. After Faria dies, Dance executes a daring plan. He hides in the burial sack, is thrown into the sea as a corpse, cuts his way out, and emerges, a ghost returned from hell. Part 3. The Rebirth of the Count of Monte Cristo. Dance finds the treasure. Myth becomes reality. Gold, jewels, and ancient coins fill the cave. The prisoner Edmond Dance is dead, the Count of Monte Cristo is born. He spends nearly a decade preparing. Wealth opens every door, wisdom lets him see into men's souls. He adopts multiple identities. Sinbad the Sailor, Lord Wilmore, Abbé Busoni. With these masks, he travels Europe, investigating each enemy's past and present. He learns that 14 years have lifted his betrayers to great heights. Danglars is now Pris' wealthiest banker. Fernand, now the Count de Morcerf, married Mercedes and gained a peerage through betraying Ali Pasha. Villefort is a towering figure in the judiciary. Only Caterus remains in misery. Like a meticulous director, the Count enters 1840s Parisian high society with a vast fortune and a carefully written script. He becomes a mysterious benefactor, a generous creditor, a seeming prophet. His revenge is not mere murder, but divine punishment. He will take not their lives, but what they hold dearest, Danglars' wealth, Fernand's honor, Villefort's impeccable reputation and family. Part 4. The Judgment unfolds. The Count's revenge unfolds like a precise and pitiless clock. For Danglars, he exploits the banker's greed, setting financial traps that bankrupt him, and force him to flee in disgrace. For Fernand, he exposes in the press the darkest chapter of his rise. The betrayal and murder of his benefactor, Ali Pasha. At a hearing in the House of Peers, Haydée, the daughter of Ali Pasha, now under the Count's protection, confronts him publicly. Ruined and abandoned by his family, Fernand takes his own life. For Villefort, the punishment is most severe. The Count reveals the prosecutor's hidden crimes. Burying his illegitimate child alive to protect his career, and the poisoning of his own daughter Valentine by his second wife. When Villefort accuses his wife in court, the evidence circles back to his own past. His wife kills their son, and herself. Villefort is driven to madness. Even the innocent are touched by the flames. Mercedes recognizes the Count as Edmond and pleads for her son Albert's life. The honorable young Albert challenges the Count to a duel, but upon learning the truth, he and his mother abandon their name and fortune, leaving in sorrow. The Count wins, but faced with Mercedes' grief, he feels only emptiness. Part 5. Forgiveness and Hope. Standing amid the ruins of his revenge, the Count feels no triumph, only a cold wasteland. He realizes the divine justice he wielded may have been twisted by hatred. The final light comes from two young couples. Valentine, spared from her family's corruption, is united with her lover Maximilian, son of Dante's former employer, Morel. And Albert, in his courage, shows a path beyond vengeance. Maximilian's despair and willingness to die for love move the Count deeply, reminding him of a force greater than hate. He leaves his vast fortune to the young lovers and departs with Haydée, who loves him. In a final letter, he leaves the novels, and his life's ultimate wisdom. All human wisdom is contained in these 5 words: wait and hope. The Count of Monte Cristo is the masterpiece of Alexandre Dumas, a storytelling genius, who understood the public's heart. The novel holds a unique place in literature. 1. The pinnacle of popular fiction, blending romantic adventure, social observation, and suspense in perfectly crafted plots. It proves profound themes can live within thrilling, accessible stories. 2. A human epic, beyond revenge, it is a parable of alienation and return. Edmond Dantès is transformed by suffering into the avenging Count, then partially reclaimed by love and mercy. This journey gives the story philosophical depth. 3. Timeless themes and universal questions, justice, patience, hope, and forgiveness. Wait and Hope has comforted generations. It asks, when law fails, does a person have the right to personal justice? Where does revenge cross the line? Dumas built a literary island of his own, a place of darkest betrayal and brightest humanity, of calculated schemes and selfless love. It reminds us, fate may cast us down, but human resilience can carve light from despair. That is why, after nearly 200 years, the Count of Monte Cristo still speaks to our deepest longing for fairness, dignity, and redemption.